300 subscribers within about a month of starting to post has been insane, and nothing I was prepared for. You guys have given me such awesome support. I have cried more times than I can count over the past couple of weeks, but the thing that I keep seeing over and over and over again is that I'm wrong for doing what I'm doing because I shouldn't be playing D&D. I need to be trying other modules. D&D is not for me. Why are you even bothering with this? So this video is dedicated to all the people who say, try something else. To start, I know that 5e is very, very flawed. If I was just to take a book or a module and a pre-made one-shot or campaign, I would, quite frankly, I wouldn't use 5e. However, 5e was my introduction to D&D, and many of the people who I have met's introduction to D&D. With the big movie, Stranger Things, and other new forms of media, we are having a massive influx of new people. And where do they go? D&D 5e. Yes, there are some great other TTRPGs that do need encouragement, but the timeline of everything is kind of important. I'm a new DM, and I've learned over the past couple of days that that is a bad thing to some people. But I've been DMing for over a year. I've had a totality of over 35 players across all of my different tables, and I love what I do, and my players love what I do. I find it very odd how gatekeepy that can be. Even so much as saying campaign instead of adventures, when I'm talking about my campaigns, I run long term. My longest one right now is going on about a year and a half, actively. But that's offensive, that's bothersome, that's cringe. And the micromanagement of the rules and the way people play, the way people so much as talk about it or move around about it or want to play is so right way, wrong way, and nobody has a similar opinion. And if you are different, it is bad. And I didn't want this channel to be that. This is an open love letter to the game and hopefully inspiring other people to join and play with one of the most easy to find resource tabletop RPG game formats. I think Pathfinder is right up there with it, but through and through, my easiest, so I'm sure it's other people's easiest, has been D&D 5e. But moreover, those resources and ease of access was a really big part to play in where I got started as DMing. I have a lot of health complications. I have been sick my whole life and only getting worse. I have a connective tissue disorder, I have a cardiac condition, I have breathing complications, I have a long list of reasons why I have been to 18 specialists in a year, and my doctor has called me on his cell phone. I can just casually call up Colin, that's right. I literally know him, his wife, and his kids because I'm so actively... When I got into playing D&D was when a lot of my health crashed. For the worse. It started about 4 years ago, and I have been struggling really hard. I've, again, always had these issues. Fun fact about me, I died for 10 seconds on the clock when I was a kid. That's right, gone. But I'm here now, and I never, ever, ever want my illness to make me give up the things I love. So there was a time where I was in the hospital multiple times a month, and they weren't easy stays. It was not fun. And what brought me comfort was building my world. I have countless notes from those hospital stays that make me want to cry a little bit to know that I got through it because of D&D. The more I could create, the more I could build, the easier it was to not be scared. Because I wanted to keep creating, I flooded my world with custom stuff. 2 sister planets and this moon that revolves around them, where most of my campaign takes place on that moon, actually. I created the pantheon around it, all of the stories from the beginning of time to the future, how they dealt with the apocalypse that hit it, well, somewhat. And I left these massive blanks for my players to fill in. I rewrote how physics works in this world because technically, if you want to get into the nitty-gritty, it takes place canonically in an alternate universe of Earth. My partner has a post-apocalyptic America campaign, and they take place in the same universe. There's a lot of cosmic horror in my campaign, and I wanted it to be more scary to the players, not just their player characters, when they might find a piece of a lost satellite that we know definitely came from Earth. I worked very hard. I've slaved over my creation. At the time, I only really knew 5e, but nowadays I am aware if I built this into a different system, it probably would have been easier on me. But the ship's kind of sailed. Now, yes, because there's a lot of things that have changed outside of the D&D Beyond standards that you're reading in the app, there are things that are different. I've had people tell me I actually technically don't even play D&D 5e. I just play some weird amalgamation of play pretend. But if we're having fun, that's okay. Which brings me to the next point. I really hate the gatekeeping around the community. I think another thing that came with the channel growth was getting very determined, angry people in both my Instagram DMs, that you're wild for that, and in my comments, telling me that I basically don't belong here. Things that I'm doing are bad. And when addressing it as, well, this is what works for me, what works for our table, and we're having fun, I'm told that that is wrong. It's just a game is wrong. If you are different, you're wrong. I have the backbone and experience to say, yeah, man, okay. Dude, I have seen the light. I promise you, these are petty problems. Day to day can be intense enough without stressing over whether or not a character should die at a table. What? Now, some people are there for challenges, and I respect that. Every single table is different, but one of the biggest reasons why I refused to even look into D&D further than surface level was because I was met with so much aggression when I took interest. I had very few friends who were saying, we love D&D, and then I would look it up and it was why you are a problem player, why your player characters don't matter, why rules are more important than fun. Countless, and I mean countless, D&D horror stories. I'm gonna be so real with you, if it wasn't a real cute guy who asked me to play, I wouldn't be here. The people who believe there is a right and wrong way to do things, and if you're wrong, you shouldn't even be allowed to play, is really loud, really loud. So even if I could take probably a year of my life to redo my entire world into another system, I would rather have content and a system based on one of the biggest TTRPG names so that hopefully newer players come across my videos before they get any form of toxicity like that. It is so discouraging, and that's not anything I ever want to be. Even if I'm small now, I've already had so many people who were like, hey, you have encouraged me to actually be brave enough to play, and I'm gonna take my best shot at getting my voice heard by as many new players as I can because of that. Now, for some people, that may be seen as ruining the D&D community or whatever because it's bringing in people who don't care, but maybe we just care differently, and that's okay. There's no one saying you are obligated to ever play with me as your DM or as a player. There's also no one forcing you or saying you're obligated to make a table with people who are new, who play differently. Players who like games like mine don't have to be in games like yours. That doesn't mean that those games aren't important. I think no matter how you choose to play games, it is about friends coming together. Be it for a challenge or for a story or simply to be an adorable little kobold bard exploring the world, I think it's okay. Which brings me to my last point on differences. I am autistic. A lot of the times people can't tell if it's a short interaction on camera or even in person, but the longer you're around me, you notice, you pick up on it. It was much higher needs growing up. I didn't have very many friends because I was weird. The best example that I always go to is I was a kid who would hit their head on the table, people would laugh, they didn't understand the difference between laughing at and laughing with, so they would start slamming their head on the table because they didn't understand. It's only recently that I started getting more and more okay with talking about the reality of having lived my life with this. And I also wasn't diagnosed until I was an adult, and my parents knew, some of my family knew, but I didn't know until after my diagnosis, and everyone said, "Oh, sweetheart, you didn't know?" No, I did not. I just thought I was weird and people didn't like me and I didn't know how to fix it. So overcompensating trying to fix it, I blend decently most of the time. That being the case though, I really get stuck in my ways. Once I find something that works for me, I'm not changing it. Moreover, even if I tried, I'm pretty sure if I changed my whole system over, my instinctual brain would not be able to let go of where I originally built it, and that would be a nightmare shit show of trying to not just learn and understand this, but reteach. Or I would have to scrap my whole world altogether, which I don't want to do. I love my world. I love my world. Why would I rewrite my whole world because some people on the internet says it would be better over here? This made me happy. I know my limitations and my capabilities, and this type of switch for my brain chemistry is not happening. I wish it was easier, and I continue to try and be better with my stuff, but you know, I'm still trying to make sure that I have a full meal a day. I'm not prioritizing rewriting my entire D&D setting when it works. Guys, it works. Guys, I'm telling you, it works. Does D&D always work? No, but because I understand it so well, my world works. It's a lot of extra work sometimes. I'm not gonna sit here and say that it's not, but I'm to a point where that lot of extra work is like a couple extra hours on planning something, not necessarily spending weeks and weeks of research or anything like that. It's just, And I don't mind. I really don't. I don't. I would love to pick up Daggerheart or Pathfinder or many of the others that you guys have super cool left in comments for me to check out for future one-shots and things like that, but sorry guys, D&D 5e is for me. Hey man, I'm just trying to stay alive and to have some fun with my friends, and I think that's what it is all about at the end of the day, is having fun with friends, whatever fun looks like to you. This just so happens to be what fun looks like to us. A lot of the videos that I am going to be having are not necessarily D&D centric or could inspire world building into other games, but just please remember to do what feels best for your table, and remember the way that we are all different is what makes this community so beautiful. And no matter where you're starting off or continuing your adventures, just remember to be yourself. And in the spirit of being yourself, I would absolutely adore if you guys would leave in the comments what system you use, what system you're playing at, and why you love it. And I will see you in the next one. Bye guys! Ooh. Keep it together, you dumb bitch. Keep it together.